Hello and welcome once again to the 7th episode of the illustrious No Recoil podcast, the only Samurai Shodown podcast that we know of. I am your warm and convivial host, Scrub Cybot, and I am joined here by 5 of my closest friends in the community. Kelly Ann, Frosty Faustings, Maki, Healing Vision, and that dude, Royal Psycho.
Hi everyone.
Hello, well.
Hello, everyone.
Yo.
Alright, so unless you've been living under a rock, you've probably heard that a pretty big tournament happened last weekend. Frosty Faustings 2024 in Lombard, Illinois. Widely considered the second biggest major of the year in North America after Combo Breaker. Pretty big deal. Pretty high marquee anime themed event that makes a lot of room for a lot of more niche games, Samurai Shodown being one of them. And there's a lot of
Best one?
yes, absolutely, yes, the best game there.
Yes.
There was a lot of high level representation, a lot of cold weather, and a lot of deep dish was consumed. So we're
Not
gonna.
enough deep dish was consumed.
I'd have to say the weather wasn't that bad.
Yeah,
Shit.
it actually was considerably better. Like
Yes.
for me, like it's all the weather's like weak sauce compared to where I live, but
What you got?
Well, not everybody lives in the tundra, dude.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like of course I am a real life Eskimo, so it doesn't make that much of an impact on me.
Eskimo.
Man.
I also had the benefit of being in the official hotel, so I did not really have to brave the weather that much.
Nice.
Well, for those who live closer to the Ecuador, yeah, it was significantly better. If I'm compared to last year, which I was like freezing, this time it was more manageable, by a lot. So yeah.
Walking on the ice still sucked though. I'm not good at
Oh
that.
yeah, of course. You have to avoid that, otherwise it's
Yeah,
gonna be bad.
I had like one of the best parking spots of the whole event. Then I had to give it up when I had to, go out to eat. 7 linings though.
Yeah, you're kind of playing with your life crossing the street at this time of year.
Yeah.
Especially a highway or whatever that was.
Yeah, the highway.
Oh,
event.
Oh,
That was a highway?
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Yeah, it's a highway.
Wow.
Yeah, where we left
Longer in real life.
Maki for dead.
Yes.
Across the street.
They really
He
need
got him
like
eventually. It's fine.
But
Yeah.
I believe
Did you see the undernight crew that all ran across the street? They took a whole video.
They did?
Yeah,
Yep. They
Yeah,
did
it's
not
funny.
have a bus. They all ran across the
they
street.
did.
Wait, is that really on video right now?
Yeah,
It was on Twitter, yeah.
it's on Twitter.
Oh,
I think
shoot.
I think Cookie put it up.
Cookie put it up. I think.
Oh, man, I
Or
gotta
we-
look at that.
It's pretty
Oh.
funny. It's
Yeah, when there's like 30 people, what are the cars gonna do? They're not gonna plow through everybody. So
Yeah.
I mean, they could, but
And power to the people, right?
Exactly.
Right. Suing people is easy money.
All right. So as far as the tournament goes, I really enjoyed my time. Even like 2 days in, I knew I was having a good time, right? Like I already decided it was a good time. I was like very busy, and it was like exhausting, but it was still really fun just because I had my hands tied with considerably more stuff. But it's still like yeah. Just because something's exhausting doesn't mean it's not fun.
Yeah, your flight in too was pretty
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had some trouble getting in. So So what happened was on Wednesday, getting from Montreal to Chicago. Actually, my landing in Montreal from Edmonton, they had to de-ice the plane wings. So I thought, okay, they're just gonna do this for 10 minutes, and I'm just gonna get off. And then we waited and waited and waited, and 10 minutes became 30 minutes, became an hour. And I was just like, I was looking at the clock, and I was like, wow, I never missed a flight before. And I've flown to a lot of these, and I guess it was only a matter of time until something bad happened. And then they finally got it sorted. And by the time I got off my flight, literally as soon as I got off the flight, my next flight departed. So there would have been no humanly way possible. So I was just like, okay, what the heck do I do? And then they don't update your info right away and the Air Canada stuff. So I stood in their line, and then I went to their site on my own and realized that my flight was rescheduled until next morning. So I'm like, okay, well, this sucks. I guess I'm sleeping at the airport.
Wait, you slept at the airport?
No, that's what I thought I'd have to do.
Oh, okay.
So I got my new boarding pass, and I went to the Air Canada desk, and they're like, oh yeah, you're getting comped. You're getting a hotel for tonight, and you're getting a food voucher. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a whole setup. It was as a Hilton, and they said they have a hotel primarily just for sending people that have their stuff rescheduled. I just for PR, because if that happened to too many people, they'd people would want to fly Air Canada. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, I got on my new flight. I was supposed to be in Chicago by 9. I had to go from Montreal to Toronto, which is really stupid because it's less than an hour, and then Toronto to Chicago, which is another hour. So I got off my connection. I landed in Toronto, and then guess what? I had to de-ice the plane. Yeah, literally the same thing. So I waited an entire hour, and I again missed the flight, and then they rescheduled it for 3 hours later. So I didn't actually get into Chicago until 3. So yeah, the plan was to get there and have the whole day, and it just kind of didn't work like that. But still, it's just a funny story.
Yeah, we were setting up the consoles at that point, making sure that for Samsho in general, me and Kelly and whoever was around, we were just making sure that all the DLC was on there, and the right settings were set to 120.
Yeah,
and all that. So
yeah, I figured you guys would be on that even if I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the Thursday, God, what did I even do? Yeah, I landed and then set things up, and then I think we just went for... Oh, you guys went for food. And then all I did was training mode. You guys went to that hot pot or something, right?
Yeah. Went to the hot pot. It was good.
Oh.
It was pretty
Yeah. We just went for all the meat because everybody was eating a lot of stuff, and those places. Well, the good thing from those places is actually the meat. So
yeah,
we were just only eating meat because everybody was eating noodles and stuff like that, and it was no, I'm just gonna fill my stomach with meat.
Yeah,
This is the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vato was like, hey, why aren't you gonna do something else? I'm like, I got some cabbage or lettuce, and I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna throw all this meat on here. What are you talking about? I'm not gonna fill myself up with noodles. Pay for that.
Of course, yes.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, because you could keep asking for more meat, but everybody was busy standing up and going for noodles and really things that make much sense to get there, because you can get those at any other place. But yeah, it was interesting.
Mhm.
The only I would say bad thing about the place is how far it was from the venue. We it was like 40 minutes or something.
Yeah, it felt like 30 to 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's a lot of time. That's a 2-hour. Technically, it's like a 3-hour trip because you've got an hour. It seems like you spend an hour in the Uber or whatnot. Then you got to order your food, or there was a lot of us, so that took a while to sit down and eat and then go back. So yeah, it was a long trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about like the more famous like Chicago eats is like you gotta go deep into the city. Like I've always wanted to like hit up Pequod's, and I might do that for Combo Breaker because I have an extra day. But like to do that when you're at the venue, it's really hard because otherwise, like people generally at the venue, they want to do things at the venue, right?
Yep.
You paid money. You paid like venue fee. It's not cheap now, right? That was like Evo, because we were gonna do the buffet and it just never materialized.
Yeah. It's because I think when we finally. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say Evo's a little different though, because there's so many things to do in Vegas, and even like on the strip, off the strip. But it's also kind of like herding cats, because everybody wants to do their own thing. So at least with Chicago, it's a little bit easier to kind of like, I guess, go as one. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
I think this time we stuck together more. Like last time for Combo Breaker, like we had to arrange groups with other people. We had to like wait for like Royal and Ghost and everybody to like convene. And I think this time, because like the hotels are closer to the venue, it was like easier.
It's all centralized, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
Oh, are they further from the venue in Combo Breaker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We was.
But it's not as bad because the weather is like summer, right?
Yeah.
Spring-ish. It was
Yeah.
it wasn't very cold. But like our hotel that I forget the name of it. It was like a 20-minute walk or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, 20-minute walk, 5 to 10
Oh,
minutes.
I do remember that now.
Uber. Yeah.
So then, what was the venue like there? Was it a big place? One room, or was it spread out like Frosty?
You mean at the venue itself or in our room?
Yeah, for Combo Breaker. Was it just one big room?
The venue at Combo Breaker is like a hotel and convention center, so it's not like ballrooms. It's like an Evo style. So
It's like Evo.
Okay,
Big
so one
warehouse.
big.
Yeah, like a
Awesome.
like a convention, like an expo hall. So it's like
Yep.
there's a couple side rooms, but generally there's like one giant room, and all the main games are like on different stages against the wall, kind of.
Okay, so that's the one thing I didn't like about Frosty, is that I feel if they were going to have King of Fighters 15 in the main room, they should have a top 8. They should have also had Samsho and whatever else they missed in that big main ballroom up on the stage with the blue lights, because nobody got to see Samsho that didn't make it all the way over to that back room, and that I think is unfortunate.
Yeah. I cannot get it because of the amount of
I get it too.
attendees, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it is a main game, right?
Correct. Yeah.
I get it because I think they were also trying to avoid power issues by having too many consoles in, one room, but I don't think it was necessary to have as much as they did. But, I don't know the numbers or anything, but I just feel like they could have possibly made it more of a possibility to have the top 8 over on a big screen to show everybody, because nobody got to see the game. And that's the whole point of promoting a smaller game with the newer games, is that you want Street Fighter 6 people who maybe don't really even enjoy the game, but they're playing it, to see
Speaking of
to see other games such as Samsho, because I know the players in Japan are consistently saying that, you know, if you don't like Street Fighter 6, try out Samsho. It's a better game. It's more simple. It's easier to learn. It's this, it's that. And I feel like that's kind of the reason why you want Samurai Shodown to be a main game. You know, not only for other reasons, but like that's a big part of it, is to get other players that aren't aware of the game to be aware of it.
Yeah. No matter what game, like personally, that I play or anybody plays, I think anybody who's touched Samsho and actually understands it always goes back to it regardless. It's like either it got you into fighting games, or there's just something special about it that you know, with the simplicity of the commands, I guess you can express yourself. Yeah,
it's definitely true, because coming from no fighting game background, I've tried fighting games ever since I tried Samurai Shodown, and I can't find one that I like. I don't like any of them. Samurai Shodown is really the only fighting game that I think is fun.
And talking about fun, I enjoyed Frosty myself also. A lot more this year. Actually, it's probably one of the best times I've had at an offline, to tell you the truth. This year for sure. I felt like it was more personal. I felt that way last year too, but I've really felt like, you know, you have time to spend with people, and like when you're just casually playing games, and I don't know, being in smaller rooms kind of made it that much more easier, and then our hotel, you know, access was close, so it's I liked it a lot. Like I enjoyed it, and I actually entered several games and felt good about everything. So it's definitely, like, I feel like it's a must for every year, pretty much. And it starts the year off, so first major, right, the whole year in January. So I mean, last year it was February, but I mean February, what, like 2nd, 3rd or something like that. So yeah, it's a way to start the year off, you know.
It really feels like a people's event, right?
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like a corporate event, really.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I like that it was on Saturday, because I felt like I got a little bit more time to, although technically last year I guess was better, but for me personally, but I just feel like I wanted more casuals after Saturday, and that was the one thing I didn't like. I wish that more of the Samurai Shodown players would have come over, because I wanted casuals with like Vato and Flunktastic and Light Ice, and some of those people that I've never gotten to play before, and I didn't get to play them, and that is kind of what bums me out about this Frosty, is that I think the ballroom was just so far away from all their other games, they just never really made it over to play. And
well, a couple
that's
people
what
were
I was sad about
too. A couple people were competing in the Vortex Gallery tournaments on Sunday, so that's part of the reason too. Because it was like more or less Vortex on Thursday and Sunday, pretty much the tourneys. I mean, they were going on throughout the whole week, but like they had a lot of games, so the people who, you know, could have played with us also would have had to do that. But yeah, actually that was one thing, is like when we like our casuals for Samsho, being a main game, was in the same room.
Oh, they took out the Xboxes, that's why.
Yes.
So we had to literally bring our own Xbox into the free play area.
Correct. That's what we had to do for this time around. I did enjoy that, you know, but it would be up to us to say, hey, meet in cosplay room, or that's where we were when we brought it. But yeah, they got rid of it because of the DNF tournament was the next day, pretty much.
Right.
After we had just set up everything for casuals. So, yeah.
I think that's a good point. I haven't thought about that, but yeah, last year I believe, well, the tournament was all on Friday, right? And then Saturday everyone was playing, a lot of casuals, and it was cool because I mean, tournament was already over and everybody was playing all the time. There wasn't like no pressure, no pre-tournament pressure or anything.
Yeah.
So this time doing it on Saturday, it was a little bit difficult because yes, of course we had casuals the day before, but it's not the same thing, you know. It's kind of different because you cannot go all out before a tournament. It's yeah, I haven't thought about that, but yeah, that's a good point actually.
Yeah, I guess there's kind of a meta strategy where like it's not necessarily a good idea to like play casuals with people that are like your biggest competitors, and then it's like if the tournament's earlier, you can at least get it over with and then play after.
Yep.
So that's why some people like maybe won't play, so that's the nice thing, but like I don't know, it's kind of gonna be a thing at every tournament, right? Like I think, in my opinion, I think I talked to Maki at Combo Breaker quite a bit about this, but like I don't think between sandbagging and just practicing, I think it's better to practice than to like avoid matches or attempt to sandbag, because like ultimately you're going to have to play. It's better to like just outplay people and play legitimate than it is to like try to hide stuff.
Yeah.
Right? And I feel like of all the events I've gone to, I played most in vogue when I played casuals and practiced. And it's like, in my opinion, if you're a real player, you should be adapting to, you shouldn't like getting figured out in casuals. That like shouldn't really be a thing if you're gunning for the top spot anyway. You should be adjusting on like a game per game basis, and you should have the capability to adjust and respond at all times anyway. So like honestly, if like I think if you're worried about like someone getting the read on you in casuals, you might be a fraud. So
well, that's what I was about to say, is that like if you are good, you don't have to worry about getting figured out, you know?
Correct, because you're also figuring out at the same time.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That's kind of how I felt when I was playing Under Night. I just played with anybody, but there was a couple of people who decided not to, and it's like, you know.
And if you're gonna play somebody in 5 minutes, then like, okay, yeah, obviously not, but like.
Right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm still working on the nerves part. I feel like I did a lot better in casuals than I did. I mean, I definitely did better in casuals than I did in the tournament. It's just the nerves, they just kind of, they get to me really bad. It sucks.
Yeah, there kind of isn't an easy answer, right? Even someone like me, I have a lot of experience. Actually, I have pretty good nerves, so I played like especially on like stages, right? But I'm definitely not immune to nerves. Like actually, in pools,
you seem like you're immune to nerves.
I mean,
I was gonna say, yeah, you're so calm. Like you look so calm. You're just like, and when you're thinking, you put your fist on your chin.
Yeah.
And then Royal, yeah, you guys both do it. Royal, you get into it, so I know that's your way to alleviate nerves, or like it fuels you, right? I feel like that's your way. You're like, I enjoy this. This is why I'm here. This is why I do this. So you got that fueling you to get beyond the nerves.
Yeah, like mid-match for me, I I actually remember thinking to myself that I was so nervous that I was like, I just want this match to be over. I want this game to be over. I just want it to stop. So, and that's definitely not the frame of mind that you need to have. So
No.
I was done for. I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I just need to stop playing. I should have just dropped my controller right there and said I give up. And I don't like that I felt that way.
Happens to all of us, though.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
how
think
would you
that the thing I tell people to help with nerves is that nerves are like irrational, because it's like there's no, ultimately, whether or not you're prepared enough or not, there's no reason to have nerves. So just like, maybe this is easier for me to like isolate it emotionally, but
Well, I completely agree with you, and I say the same thing to other people. But as I sat down there with the people around me, I think I just could feel everybody around me, and that's kind of what made me feel more nervous. Not
Oh,
really
for
the
sure.
playing.
Yeah,
so
for
it was
sure.
just more kind of like a claustrophobia. I actually feel like if I was in a room with windows and sunlight, I would have been better.
I definitely think
Well,
tournaments are like a competition of environment too, right?
Yeah.
And like even though I don't go to my locals anymore regularly, or at least I don't go every week like I used to, but I feel like I just have like the training, like I have like an acumen for the environment where even if I can like feel people or like sit with the monitor at an angle slightly or like hear a little bit, because even with the headset, if it's not like active noise canceling, you can hear people a little bit even with a good headset, right? Like I just have, because you see people like at like Capcom Pro Tour and they're up there with no headset, and that's wild to me. But they,
Like me, right? I don't use headset.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
wild.
It is. I know.
I train. Yeah, I train for that situation specifically, so I don't need headsets. So yeah, it is difficult, but I just got used to it.
It's like the only solution is to just do it more.
Yep.
Yeah, you can't like, they're kind of, yeah. If you have difficulty of doing something, then expose yourself to the same situation over and over. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain from the experience. So even if like, this is why I say like, I don't think in your main game you should always enter every tournament in your main game, including like net play tournaments that might have lag or something, or even if you're like even if I'm like not feeling it, like the last, well, obviously I had to enter because I was running it, but like the last tournament, the Xbox version of my tournament, the Year of the Dragon, I actually had a headache, so I thought about not entering, but like I specifically wanted more bracket practice, so that's why, and it kind of just worked out, right? And the ABK tournament yesterday, I wasn't gonna enter cause like I wasn't really playing actively, but it's, even though I didn't win, it's good that I entered. I think the exposure, you should want to get exposed, right?
Mhm.
I think a lot of people don't want to get exposed, but getting exposed, that's why I think humility is like a really strong concept, right?
Yeah, I agree.
You have a lot to gain from getting both like your bad habits literally in the game and your lack of comfort outside of the game, like things of like the environment or the difference in lag on local setups, the heat in the venue. That's actually a thing. Like the heat was
Oh my god.
was
Definitely.
annoying. Being able to like exposing yourself to that, like you only stand to gain. But yeah, the heat in that room, that was, that was definitely a thing from last year that they like didn't fix, because I was like, people kept saying last year it was like the body heat, and I apparently not. I think that room is just hot, and I don't know why. But
The room wasn't hot until the day of our tournament, because the day of the tournament they had too many people and too many systems all on and working all at the same time. I have pictures of the first day we were there, and there was nobody around us, and I had my sweater on and I was fine. And then the day of the tournament, I specifically was like, I'm going to wear a tank top this time, because last year I had to take off my sweater. And I was wearing a tank top this time, and I was still even hot. But there was a lot of people. That's where Samsho was busy, is during the pools, because they were all at the same time, basically. So there's a lot of body heat there.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I picked the thinnest shirts I packed.
I did that day too. I didn't wear anything really.
That was, yeah. And so when you play, if you're sweating and it's kind of hard to play like that. So that was another thing I remember. I think, yeah, it was hot. It's always hot in there for some reason when everybody's in there and the body heat is there. But I assume. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Right. So when you guys played top 8, did you feel the same way? Because you didn't have people surrounding you, but you did have lights on you, which makes you hot. So, and I wasn't in top 8, so I can't tell you.
I wasn't really bothered by it. I wasn't wearing a jacket this time, so I guess that kind of helped me out better than last year, because I almost got sick last year.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess I was unaffected. Go ahead.
No, I didn't think the heat was that bad during top 8, because it was a little spaced out. Mm-hmm. But I will say I really do feel like we have a little bit of a bad memory situation going on, because last year was brutal as far as that heat goes.
Yes.
And this year, while it was hot, it wasn't. I don't think it was as bad. I mean, was it? It was maybe a little bit above what I would consider comfortable this year, but it was like way more tolerable, because I feel like we've all collectively forgotten how like we were sweating in like just normal t-shirt last year.
Last year was hot. It was definitely more hot last year. I think.
I was sweating.
Mm-hmm.
I even took off.
I was sweating both times, but I get nervous, so that's another reason. When I was doing casuals, I was fine. I was calm. I was not sweating, but there wasn't a lot of people around either. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a solvable problem, because I think it's the hotel related thing. Because I noticed at the convention center majors, like Evo and Combo Breaker, this isn't a problem, right?
Yeah, Evo is so spaced out though. Look at how far the tables are from one another.
Yeah.
Right.
And Combo
that's
Breaker.
That's really what it was, is that the tables were close to each other, the setups were close to each other, the people were on top of each other. And that's what causes the heat.
Well, there is one other thing about Evo. Well, I was going to say, with Evo, like, the ceiling was so much higher and heat rises, so I think that is also working against you when you're doing it at like a ballroom, you know?
Yep.
I think there's a chance that next year might be at a different hotel. Which, what did you say? Never mind. So yeah, I think next year might be at a different hotel, just because last year, I know they do these on like a multi-year plan, like they sign with the hotel. And last year they announced next year's location and days, like the same while the event was happening. And this year they didn't do that. So I think maybe their lease is up and they might find a different hotel, because like I actually am not a huge fan of the Westin. I kind of decided it's like, yeah, because like the heat is one thing, and then no continental breakfast. Paid a lot for breakfast, right? That's kind of like it's like a Yeah, I kind of just don't appreciate that. Oh, we thought there was no fridge, and then I found it after everyone left on
Are
Sunday.
you serious?
Yeah.
How
Oh,
small was that fridge?
Like
That's messed up.
standard hotel room size.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was like tucked in a cabinet. I missed it completely, so I felt like a dumbass.
Oh, the fridge was there all this time? Crap!
Yeah. Oh, I'll live and learn.
you told me to. If I went to that hotel room, I would have found it for you. Believe me. I was surprised when Zal was saying that you didn't have a fridge. I'm like, what? I'm like, there's got to be a fridge in there.
Yeah, I was spreading misinformation. But yeah, were your guys' hotels all good?
Oh, ours was dirty, and they, like last year, didn't want to give us new sheets or towels, as we had asked when we checked in, specifically.
That's unfortunate.
But our doorknob was intact, and we didn't have any overflowing of toilets. So,
And no bugs, I hope.
nope, no bugs.
Good.
We had hot water. I heard some people didn't have hot water.
Oh,
no.
that's sad.
Wait, at our hotel?
I think so, yeah.
Oh.
Oh, that sucks.
Actually, no, I think it might have been at the actual venue hotel.
Oh, that's worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they found out that some of the faucets, apparently, you have to do something special with it in order to get the hot water. So who knows? Maybe I would have figured that out anyway, but I don't know.
Oh boy.
Oh wow, it's windy.
Now it's hitting you.
Yeah, it's hitting us because the trellis is about to fall over right now.
Oh.
I mean, the little thing I have by my window.
Yeah, California's got some pretty crazy weather right now.
Yeah, yep. And actually, when we got back from Frosty, we had 80-degree weather and sun. The first day I ran with shorts and a tank top.
Sounds like California.
It's
Well,
not,
it's
though. Typically, California's not that hot. It's more like 60s throughout the whole year, but it's not like we get like a lot of 80-degree weather all the time. It's kind of like only for 2 months out of the year. Unless
We do
you're
get a lot
inland.
of sun,
Unless you're
though.
inland, because we're by the beach, so.
So, as far as the bracket goes, suppose we should talk about the actual tournament. I think it was pretty interesting. I think it was a pretty high level showing.
Oh, the
Ye-
top 8 I think was the best ever.
Yeah, it was.
Even
All
with like
sorts of stuff happened.
A lot of DQs, unfortunately.
Very unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
I didn't notice that many DQs. I think one pool had more. Like, the really interesting thing was Royals pool. Yeah, because
Was that the one that had all DQs?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. One of the main DQs was Dust On or Super Bad. If
So yeah, so
now,
Dust On, Funktastic, Moo Master, Sysamex. There's a lot of people that just didn't show, and I feel like most of them were all in one bracket, from what I remember.
yeah, and they was playing different games, but
And what happened is the bracket pool number 1, the first pool, Scrubs pool, they didn't have one DQ. Every single player showed up.
that's interesting.
Yep.
very.
Yeah, my pool was
I got one-
interesting because like outside of myself, there was a bunch of like sort of notable people, like not really top 8 placers, but like people that had strong results in other brackets or are locals, like Blue Thunder, Shinchi,
Yes.
Light Ice, Frosty
Arjun.
Argan. Yeah, my pool is actually probably one of the more stacked pools, and it didn't really quite go as I expected. Like, I thought that the person who would make it out on the loser side would probably be Argan or Blue Thunder. And Argan lost to Light Ice twice.
Yep, I got it on video, I believe.
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch, but that's interesting. Cause I know Argan plays like a whole bunch of games, and he does play Samsho, but not like loads. And as far as I know, Light Ice doesn't really play Super Serious anymore. So I don't know if it was like a matchup thing, but like Double Jeopardies are always pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Cause I did when I played Light Ice, I won pretty handily. So
was it in in bracket? Okay.
yeah, it was winners final, but like I don't think if you play someone and you play another person, I don't think it's necessarily fair to say, oh, this guy's better than this guy because I beat them by this much or whatever, because like it's about playing the field, right? Like playing everyone. And apparently he played the field pretty well, because like other people like Blue Thunder, I thought he would go really far, and then yeah, I think he went 2-2 or something.
Yeah.
Blue Thunder lost. Blue Thunder lost by like. It was so close. That match was so close. Like
the way it ended, you gotta feel bad for him. Like
yeah.
I didn't really want
Definitely.
him to lose like that. Like on a technicality because of that.
I definitely felt that way too. The thing that sucks is Blue Thunder got put into losers by you.
Yeah.
So, and that was, that was fine. But then in losers bracket, Blue Thunder did really good, but also had a tough opponent, and it was one of them just was going to move forward either way, and it was so close. It was so close.
Well, like he lost to such a like obscure situation.
Right.
Yeah.
That like how would you, unless that's already happened to you. There's a thing about the people who play like local only, like the local monsters. It's like you get experience on local setups, but also it hurts your matchup experience because you're only playing your locals, right?
Right.
And I feel like if that even happened to him, even like, because if he played a Basara, then surely that could have come up like once. But I feel like if I was in the same situation, I would have did the same thing he did. So like,
but technically, Blue Thunder plays several different characters. At his local, he doesn't just choose Earthquake. A lot of times, he actually goes and chooses different characters in the cast. A lot of times.
But I think that's it. That's what he means, is because he knows he can do that against his locals.
Right.
When it comes down to it, you always, like at a big event, you're gonna always choose your best character usually. Like why risk it? You can't. You got to play with the best person that you play with. That way, you're guaranteed your win. You're not playing for a win is a win and a loss is a loss. So you want to play with your best.
Mm-hmm.
Your alt is the counter if your main character is not doing well.
Right. Yeah. Basically, like who's goes to majors or who are competitors at this thing, you look at it as this. Online is practice. Online is practice for locals. Locals is practice for regionals. Regionals is practice for majors. And majors is just practice for like Evo. And Blue Thunder, yeah, he's good very locally, but like last times, like with majors, he hasn't really gone far in these last tournaments. I mean, the first time I faced him, it was at Evo last year. And I thought he used a woo one time, and then he switched off to Earthquake. Gave me a little trouble, but I was able to edge it out though. but like he's strong. He needs a push, and I feel like nobody at his local can give him some go. Basically, iron sharpens iron. If he plays online or he has another outlet in the game that will actually kick his ass, but at the same time mold him, and that's the problem here. He's not molded.
Yeah, that's the thing. Is that I think I was talking to you guys at the dinner table. I think the hardcore net players, like the Xbox players, they really came out on top of this tournament by quite a wide margin. Like the top 4 seeds got the top 4 placings in order, and I think if you look at the difference between us 4, me, Maki, Healing, and Royal versus everybody else, it was pretty palpable.
Mm-hmm.
So you're saying more people just need to jump on Xbox?
Yeah.
I definitely think that the results always have been showing that since I've been going to these events. It's kind of clear to see it. It's happening at every event. So if I were a seriously competitive player for Samurai Shodown, I would have gotten an Xbox years ago if I wasn't on Xbox.
The only problem is that it's a little bit of investment, but do the best you can, I guess.
Yep.
Honestly, if you could spend that money on a Capcom Street Fighter 6 costume or something like that, then is it really that much money when you're buying costume? That's just... I feel like people have to put that into perspective a little more. I got an Xbox Series S during Christmas, a month and a half ago, for $149. And there's ways that you can get the game for $3. And you can get online for free for at least a month. And then you can just use your points for the rest of it. So it's not really that big of an investment when you consider people are paying a lot more for costumes and other stuff. And especially if you're going the PlayStation 5 route, which you've got to upgrade it, they just have a mess of things on that.
You're definitely gonna have to buy a new stick, or anything. So, or a converter for that also. If you have your favorite thing, or it depends. What you're using. Yeah, I mean, then that's
the way of the online. It's been like this since for a lot of years now. Games are on different systems, so unless you're really not want to be competitive and you just want to be casual, then that's fine, get one system. But if you want to be a competitive player and you want to go to these tournaments and win money, you should be buying every system. And that's just in my head, that's how I think.
Well, this is the way you're thinking about that too, hun. Is for our MMA stuff, you cannot win an MMA tournament if you just do one thing, boxing.
The thing is so you're playing to win a prize, and lots of times at these majors, your prize is money, and your money is supposed to go into your training, and then whatever's left over from winning even more is what you have. I won, and I get some free money to buy whatever I want. But if you win tournaments all the time and you're getting money from them in a pot, you should save it and put that towards your training so that you can get better. If that's what you want to do, if that's something in your goal, that you want to be a highly... I'm not like that. I don't care if I win. But there are people that want to win and they think they're going to win. And if I were like that, I would buy every system and I would play it on every system. And I would get used to, different players, different characters. And if you get games and you feel like you're getting good training, then you can tell. It's obvious.
Yeah, your route of exposure is up to you. How you want to do it. I mean, I went all out on Samsho in general.
There are some. Obviously, there are other people who just happen to be really good at all games. I see Vato playing Tomb Raider and all these other games, and then he comes in and places top 8 in every single one of his games that he wasn't practicing. So like, there's obviously, people like that just happen to be good at games. And Tao doesn't really practice Samurai Shodown 2019, but he just happens to be very good at it because he plays some of the older ones. And just in general, he's just a good player at fighting games.
Yeah, it's weird that people can do that. Actually, my first opponent, in the Under
I think that's rare, though.
He was like second place in Grand Blue, and I had to wait to fight him. It's crazy. Yeah, and then he went straight in and he beat me, and I'm like, God, he just got he switched from game to game like immediately. Man, this trips me out,
These savants, man.
Yeah,
Savant.
Savants.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that from a video game, like Savant, like they good at anything, savants.
Mm-hmm.
That's not exactly what that means, but
oh shit.
I don't want to say what that means on but I know what you mean. That's the thing for me. It's like, I know a lot of people are like kind of Renaissance man. Like, obviously look at Maki, like top 32 in Street Fighter. That's very impressive. And like yeah, even like that's not even like, I talked to the Stan, and yeah, he got top 32 in Street Fighter. So like 2 people I know personally, they got top 32. But like, that's the thing for me, is like, I'm pretty much a Samsho guy. Like, I'm okay at other games. Usually, like, it's something I'm thinking about a lot, is like, am I really legit if the only thing I'm notable in is in Samsho? Cause like, I haven't put that much effort into trying to be notable, but like, Street Fighter 6, I'm not that good. I'm okay. Like, low MR Master. Grand Blue, I'm not very good, but I also haven't played it a lot. But in terms of like super high results, I don't really have that, but I think I just understand Samsho in the context of Samsho, and that's how I make it work. And also, I'm fine, like, I'm fine putting all my eggs into one basket, so to speak, just because if it's between making myself frustrated trying to play other games for the sake of it, because there was a time I told myself I had to play Street Fighter 6 to like prove something, and then I was thinking about it more, and I was like seeing more tweets about how people felt about the game, and like just this constant whining, even from top players, saying they like hate the game, and they've got like, even though they're like CPT qualified and stuff, and it's like, I don't really want this. I'm fine just being a guy that plays the games I like, and I've made that work for me, so it doesn't bother me that much. Like, I have the door open to play other games. I think if I don't need to make myself successful to like prove something. I feel like whatever like success I have is a happy accident. Like, that's what it was with Samsho, right? Things kind of just worked the way they did. I didn't expect it became notable just cause I like the game and I play it a lot. I didn't plan for any of this, so whatever happens, and I'm kind of at terms with that.
That's a good way to think about it too. Mm-hmm. You should never ever feel like you're playing a game because it's a chore, and you got to prove something to somebody, because then you're gonna be unhappy with no matter if you win. So if you're unhappy just making it a chore to play, then what are you really doing it for?
Yeah,
for justification from people you don't know, it means pretty much nothing if it doesn't mean anything to you.
Yeah, if you look at like Punk, for example, I might as well name him because it's not like he's gonna watch, but like if like, is there really a point in being like a high level full-time top player if you're just miserable anyway? Not really, in my opinion, right?
No. Yeah.
Like I think all the people having the most fun, it's all those people in the Magnolia room playing all these
The
weird
games
games
they
they
love.
like a lot, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to Deston because he was Lunar was in my Grand Blue pool, so he was with the Houston crowd there, and we were talking. He was like, "Yeah, even the best players, most of them hate this game," and I'm like, "That's so wild! Like you're gonna play 4 hours a day and pay hundreds to travel, and for a game you don't even like." And like that game's huge too, so like a lot of those guys won't even get top 8. So no matter, right? Like I don't. I've come to terms with the idea that I'm not gonna do that.
I think it's different if you just happen to be good at it without practice, so you don't really have to put so much of your miserable time into it. But like, yeah, I definitely like people that stream the game and they're like consistently on rank, trying to rank up and consistently hate the game. That I don't get. I would rather just play a game that I'm having fun with. I like.
Well, the problem is for some of them, it's become a job, so you're not going to love your job even most of the time, technically, and it kind of sucks the life out of it when you have to like consistently be on your game all the time. Like you can't just go in and push buttons, you know. So it's different context for them, unfortunately.
I think of SF6, a lot of people like really set themselves up for disappointment because they like told themselves that this was like the one, quote unquote, like the game that would fix Street Fighter.
Yeah.
And they put like so much emotional investment into it, and then the reality started to come in that there's mechanics that they don't like. And I think like Sejamata has a really good quote where he's like, you have to play the game as it is, not how you want it to be. And like when you're playing and you're like always like complaining about drive rush, perfect parry, like I would watch some SF6 streams of like master players. They just sit there and every single game they're like complaining, and like if that's your mindset, you're just like, that's not a mindset that lends itself to success, right?
Yeah.
Another person that seems to be very good at games in general without a lot of practice is Reynald, who kind of stepped away, I think, a little bit, but he seems to be very good at games in general. I really wanted him to play Samsho again.
Oh, I don't remember Reynolds playing Samsho.
Oh, he only played it the first Evo, I believe.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But he did well, so.
Yeah. Got like what, 5th or no 4th?
Did he play Gandro?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you play against him, Royal?
No, I watch a lot of YouTube.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah, that Evo was a bunch of Hamarus and Gendros. That was
I wanted to go to that. That was the first time I actually was telling Kelly. I was like, "Hey, the game that I like it came out." I had a jiu-jitsu tournament I was coaching though.
Yep, and I went to it. Right, it was at that college, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I wanted to go. I was like, okay. Anyways. Yeah.
And he said I want to go to Evo, and I'm like, is that like E3? I was like, no, I'd rather go to E3 because I don't really like fighting games.
Here we are. Here we are.
Here we are. I'm like, are you sure you don't want to go? Like, I want to go to Combo Breaker. I really want to go to Combo Breaker, but that's a whole other story. Not because we don't want to go, but
a story.
well, my parents are coming in, and they just happen to be here in California during that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So we may send just me, right?
So I told Saul that he should apply for commentary. That way I can tell my parents, well, he's working. It's a job.
Nice.
Yeah. I don't want them to be like, hey, your son, I mean, my son-in-law is a...
It was a commentator.
Yeah, that's like
bailing when they come in. You know, I don't want to bail when they get here. But yeah.
So Maki, how much do you hate SO6?
Well, a considerable amount.
Okay, hold on a second. He said all night, the night before Street Fighter 6, because Maki stayed with me and Saul, and all night in the hotel, I hate that game. I hate that game. And then the next
Oh god.
And then the next day I thought he was gonna say I hate this game, but he actually said I don't like this game, and I said, oh, okay. He didn't say I hate this game. He just doesn't like it.
Yeah, it is funny because I'm just practicing it to help one of my colleagues, the one that qualified from Mexico, one of the two, to the Capcom Cup. So kind of just doing it because of that, just to be a good sparring partner and helping him solving situations. But other than that, it was more like an experiment, this tournament, because I said to myself, well, I might as well try to apply what we have been practicing. I mean, I do not invest a lot of time to it, but just a basic amount of it so I can be competent at the game. And then I said, well, I'll be at Frosty's. It's gonna be well, it's a major. There are gonna be like some names on the bracket. Why not? Yeah, might as well see how it goes. And there were a lot of revelations about the game during my play. Mostly that there are a lot of new players, and yeah, everyone seems to be a lot more shaky in their play. I guess it's an offline thing, because I don't know, I just felt the level, I would say the highest level, just a couple of rounds before reaching top 8. Other than that, it was very sloppy play. And I mean, don't get me wrong, people knew their stuff. They were able to do combos. They were able to do the best, to make the best decisions, but the gameplay was sloppy, so it was not as good. And I was like, okay, interesting. But yeah, I mean, it was working. Whatever I was doing, whatever I practiced, it was working up until top 25, which I started. Actually, the person who sent me to losers bracket was Ramsey, which ended up in 3rd place.
Oh wow!
And it was 2-1. I was about to beat him, so interesting. But yeah, the thing was that for me, when I was at on losers bracket, I was playing, but it was taking a while for the bracket to advance, and Samsho top 8 was right around the corner, and I was playing like 3 matches, and then this thing that happens to me when I play something that I don't like is that I start feeling like, okay, just fed up with the whole thing and start like wanting everything to end, right?
Yep.
Exactly, just like that. So I could have done a little bit better, but my mind was Samsho at that point. I was like, oh, it's like half an hour from now, the top 8, so I gotta be ready. I don't wanna be late because I have to run across. That's another thing that I don't like, that you have to run across from the main ballroom to the smaller area, and you have to check again your bag and everything. It's that's
the worst part of it.
Too tedious.
Yeah, it is. but yeah, but basically that's my whole experience with the game. I guess yeah, it is just a game. I feel another thing that I felt about the game is that the majority of the situations are a 50-50 coin toss, and that's it. So you guess right, you win. You guess wrong, you lose. But it's not. Of course, there's a skill ceiling or whatever, but I mean, yeah, you could lose just because you guessed wrong, or somebody just perfect parry you, and it could be intentional or not, and then you might as well lose. You could lose or not, but yeah, it's just a game of 50-50s. One play, and then the next play another 50-50, and so on and so on. So yeah, I felt like that's why I don't like the game. It's not like it's so random. I don't know.
You could win off of some weird gimmicks, basically.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a gimmick game.
It's really interesting that like throw loop setups for huge payoff is like something people really didn't like about SF5, and of all the things they changed in response to 5, they kept that aspect and even put like more emphasis on it, and it's like people didn't like it then and people don't like it now. Like I feel
like it, let's do it more.
Yeah.
And more specific and more damage and more reward. Yes, let's do it.
I think what they don't understand is there's a difference between a guess and a read. Like a read is a guess, but it's not like a read is like based on an action, and a guess is like it's like a rock paper scissors, right? But people don't want to like round start and then roll a dice, right, to get a big amount of like
advantage.
Right. Whereas like baiting out a whiff punish, it's like it's not a guess, it's a bait. You like perform an action to make someone do something, right? If that makes sense. That's probably not the most articulate explanation, but like
yeah, I always like the term educated guess for when it's like kind of a read, because it's more you're basing your your guess, you're basing it with all the data that you have gathered. It's not like just I'm gonna do this just because, and then I feel like just a guess is just like that.
Yeah,
not a random guess. It's based on education. Yeah.
Because if you once you get into the throw loop situation, it's just like shimmy versus throw versus meaty, right?
Yep.
No matter what, it becomes that, right? So.
Well, speaking of that kind of thing, so there was a lot of interesting things that happened during the top 8, and I think that that's why it was so interesting and so like you just couldn't breathe basically, like me, and I wasn't even playing. But like, so the whole Poppy and
that one.
Yeah, like just everybody was so like gasping about that, and then you were saying, I think, Royal, that you had that happen before, right, on the PlayStation?
Yeah,
it happens all the time and everything, right?
Yeah, well, it's not for that move, but it's for Machine Gun Dog. It's actually different. Like, the animation will still happen, the hold will still happen. The only difference is that the character would be on the ground. He'll still be grabbed, but I can't hit the person. And he just gets up like it never gets up and never happens. Still get damaged, but I can't damage him with the follow up. So, and I was trying to show that, but it turns out it looks like I didn't record it, or I still have to look for that, and probably in one of my streams.
Yeah, and it makes sense because of you interrupted the hit.
Your own, yeah.
Yeah.
You interrupted Poppy, and that's why it happened. Yeah, I saw it like afterwards, and it was pretty clear that Poppy grabbed me, and then you interrupted with another thing that knocked me down, but the game was registering me as being grabbed still, even though I was moving around.
Yep.
And then when the animation finished, you can clearly see Poppy dropping down the sky, and as soon as it touches the ground, I die. Well, it says just conclusion because nobody.
Ground.
Yeah, we were standing, but yeah, that's why. I saw that, and it was like, okay.
I was like, what? Really? Okay, alright, fine.
That was the interesting thing, was it let you choose your wake up roll. So like, yeah, you actually were able to do an action. So I wonder if you could have like got up and bursted or something, and what that effect would have.
Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about maybe, I don't know, roll. I don't really remember the exact situation, but what would happen if I manage in that little window, if I manage to do something that kills the opponent at the same time? What would happen? What would take priority? I don't know.
If it's happening at the same time, it'll probably be a draw.
A draw, probably.
If it's at the same time, if you hit me before Poppy drops down, then you probably would have won.
Guess we never know.
Guess we never know.
Definitely one of those 1 in 100 situations that showed up. I'm sure other stuff, like, it's easy to say, oh, that'll never happen in bracket until it does, right? Like, I'm sure one of these days I'll like, because there's other really weird stuff, like Baiken doing a DP on hit, right? That glitch, I think that's an Xbox only thing, where like, if you input the DP motion while taking a knockdown, you can like come out of your own hit stun and DP them out of the air. But like, I can't even reproduce it, and the actual practicality of it is pretty dubious, because you have to like take a hit for more damage than the DP. And if you were gonna DP, like, you would just DP. You can't do it like on reaction
Intentionally.
And
right?
there's no scenario where you would ever want to like take damage on purpose, and then so I'm sure it'll happen by accident, but yeah, it's just one of those things. It was a funny stream moment, if nothing else.
Definitely.
So when it comes to Samsho's top 8, it's always a streaming moment. Always a streaming moment.
Yeah.
You know, I do want to jump in real quick and say, well, first off, I got to get going really soon, but since we're on the topic of top 8 really quickly, I will say that rewatching those matches, this was, probably one of the best, like, as far as, like, the matches themselves go, one of the best top 8s I feel like I've seen. Because everything, like, yeah, they had, like, the weird stuff that happened, but just the hype and everything was just pretty good. It was a good showing.
It was.
Yep. On the same boat as healing, I have to drop in a little bit, but yeah, in terms of display, like level display, I believe this was one of the hypest and highest level top 8 that we have had since, I don't know.
Combo
I don't know.
breaker usually.
Yeah, Combo Breaker, I think it was the other one that I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm actually
something
glad
about
I
it, like
Go
I
ahead. my
think
bad.
there's like a kind of an emotional like emphasis on Frosty, and like for me, I kind of like, you know, after Combo Breaker I had some personal issues, and I really put everything into Combo Breaker. Then I really felt like I was on the cusp of like, I was at the point where I was most in vogue with the game, and I was really on like a meta level. And then when my motivation wavered after SF6 came out and rollback was delayed, I was still playing reasonably well, but I feel like I kind of lost it, like lost the I lost that groove, sort of. And then basically the latter half of the year, I've kind of been refocusing myself to get it back. And I had to, for me to do that, I had to really, because like the way I was playing before was I would just like turn on the Xbox and play some matches, and if something piqued my interest in training mode, I'd
Lab it or something?
yeah, I just pull it up when it suited me. But I wasn't satisfied with that, and part of it was try to deal with Cypher and like adapt, and just I really wanted to put a lot of deliberate. I tried to be a lot more deliberate, so I've really adjusted the way I break down the game, and I tried to look at things with a lot more specificity, and I started to contextualize things a lot better. And I didn't like get a complete sense of control, but I really started to piece things together a little by little, and I think I'm really satisfied with how it paid off, because I feel like I have a good sense of direction. Not because like it's sort of like not just for the sake of Frosties. Like I wanted to do it for Frosties because it's a big deal and it means a lot to me, because it's like the second biggest major of the year, right? But just I feel like I have this event to thank for really enabling me to like focus up, and because it like part of it isn't just the game that's sort of discouraging me, but
You mean right now, Scrub?
no, I mean like in the latter half of the year, right? It's like just a lot of aspects of trying to play Samsho are a little frustrating. Like the player volume kind of isn't there, and this is gonna sound a little mean, but like the player skill level also isn't there in a way that I think makes testing high level fundamentals kind of hard.
Mhm.
So that made it really discouraging, but I think I was able to really focus what I like about the game. And I remember thinking about like my practice and stuff, and I was like, when I was going really hard in training, I was just thinking, you know what, I don't really enjoy this very much, but like as I kept like getting focused on the win streak, like what'll happen if I don't win, and you know, whatever, and then I kept thinking, and I realized I don't play for trophies. I have trophies because I love the game. And I thought back to when I was happiest, and I think it was when, like 2022, when the Xbox movement was getting on its feet, and we were playing in lobbies all the time, and that made me remember like this is the aspect that I really play for. Like, this is the fun of the game, and I think embracing that really helped me push. And I think if I didn't go through this like deconstruction and didn't put this much effort, I feel like I could have won, but I don't think I would have won like I did. I think I would have, I'm not saying, like, it would have been considerably more challenging. And I think even though the results, not just for me but for everybody else, even though the results kind of weren't out of line of expectations, I think everyone also leveled themselves up, and that's why it was a very high level top 8 even with less people.
Yep.
Yeah, I think the people that remain in general are the people that do love the game, you know. I think at this point it's never I don't think anybody should ever feel like they have to prove themselves in any other game. And as you said, you know, you play the game because you have fun, you love it, right? You don't need to prove that to anybody else. And people like, oh, you're still playing this. It's like, yeah, I mean, you know, you like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really that simple. Like,
I mean,
that's
you're not
the thing
trying to
that
make them happy, right? You're trying to make yourself happy.
yeah, like a lot of people make weird comments and stuff, and I think people are starting to like throw more shade. Like, they're salty that like they're tired of me winning all the time. And I think that's like a little palpable from certain people. And like, even, yeah. But like, I try to really just like disengage from that, because it's like you're doing this like for you, not to like appease anyone. And like the people that are like Samsho's got a lot of tourists. It's got a lot of people that like aren't really like about it, but they like pretend to be about it. And like, you can't really stop those people. Just have to like be true to yourself in the game.
Yep.
So like, I have certain people blocked on Twitch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, I don't need to hear certain shit from certain people, right? Like, I'm just doing what it is, and it's like, you know, I won't always be successful, and I haven't always been, but I've gotten this far, right? Just from being true to myself in the game, and there's no like that doesn't magically change if I lose the win streak. Doesn't magically change like if I lose like in net play, because you know I was kind of bummed about Donkey Soda and TNS, right? Like, I put a lot into those, and it kind of just didn't work out. But like, if you win, you're the same person tomorrow, and if you lose, you're the same person tomorrow. And even, you know, I had that big win against Cypher. I didn't think I'd pull that off, to be honest. Like, I remember like the same week, like the Wednesday lobby before the tournament, he perfected me that one round against Biken, and I was just like in my head, man, it could be years before I beat this guy, and it just worked out. But like, I didn't feel like this like enormous sense of pride or whatever the next day. It was just like, okay, I won. So it's like, it's best not to be so concerned, even if you're a high level player, right?
It's the challenges that make us who we are, anyways, you know?
Yeah.
If it wasn't a challenge, then
Yeah,
why
if
do
you,
it? Yeah.
If you lose a game, it just helps you focus on, you know, getting better at whatever you feel you might need to get better at. And I don't think there's anything bad in losing, honestly. I think it betters people. Obviously, I think that you in particular, I could tell that you win because you put a lot of work into it. You play this game consistently, you are constantly playing, you're putting in the work, and you're getting results.
Yeah. I'm not the type of person to pretend that I don't play, or like, because I like, play a lot.
There's hours. I can see your hours on Xbox because I'm worried you're gonna surpass me one day, but I have you beat right now. So. I may not be a winner, but I've got more hours.
Yeah.
I think Mr. Pock has the most hours right now.
He does. He doubles the hours of the second highest, which is Zal. And I'm third. And that's not just in Xbox. You've got hours on PlayStation. You have hours on PC. You have hours on every other version that you own. But your hours are beating a lot of people's hours. And
I've actually played the game on the Xbox. It started on the Xbox for a long time.
And that's the thing, is that you play the game. So if anybody, would be upset that you're winning, you're putting in time to win. It's not like you're just, dilly-dallying and, maybe I'll play it today. That's not the way it is. You play it all the time and you're consistently trying to improve and you're getting results.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be.
And if people are mad at that, then whatever. Yeah. Like, you can, try to detract from me or whatever, and say
the thing is
Mike gave me magic powers and whatever. But
there's a lot more. I mean, there's a lot more games that have tons of broken characters for.
Absolutely.
JoJo's is broken as heck.
Oh goodness gracious!
It is so broken, but I love it. It's broken as heck, but hey, I still play it.
That's still fun.
Yeah. But in that sense, I don't think that game. I can't. I don't really care about losing in it. It's a different type. Too many different matchups. Every character has a different assist, and it's interesting. Like Marvel, Marvel is it's all over the place.
Chaotic.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize, but Maki and Healing are both gone already.
Yeah, they said they had to go.
I didn't even notice. I mean, they mentioned, but I guess they're done. So
yeah,
it's like Survivor getting voted off the island. And then there were 4.
Well, if you wanted to continue, you said that you may just do something. I mean, it's not scripted. We're just talking away about our thoughts. And on the thing about Frosty, I will say thanks to Kelly telling me bring everything.
Because we have been
not bring that.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, because I was not playing on 60. I was not playing 60 like last year. I was not doing it.
Yeah, that would have been. That was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would.
Well, I brought mine too because I had a feeling, and they told me they had one, and then I guess they didn't.
So they did. They had a capture card, but they didn't have the correct splitter, I guess.
The splitter. It's hard to split a 120 signal I have a splitter that you can put to up to 5 different TVs. Even if you run it 4K 120, there's these jumpers that you just switch, or switches you tell which one to put it on. But I really wish they would have been for sure and tried it, because they plugged the Xbox in. But that's the thing about having, I guess you could say, one of the only true next gen games, is because they can't even tell. We all know that the menu to go 120, it'll say if you are plugged on it, and then just because a monitor, it's not automatic.
because we know the setting is there, we know it's missing. But anybody who looks at it and doesn't see the setting, they don't know it's missing because they're not familiar with Xbox. It was literally like the whole Hertz selection was gone. It wasn't even there.
It doesn't work that way on the PlayStation 5 because the PlayStation 5
Correct.
does not have the selection. It says automatic.
The PlayStation 5 does not do the 120 from the system, and that's the major difference. Everybody thinks that it does because it sounds like it does in their wording, but it actually doesn't. The only reason why Street Fighter 6 goes into 120 hertz is because the game specifically has a setting that forces that PlayStation system to do 120.
Yeah.
That's not the way the Xbox works. The Xbox will put it outputs. The actual system outputs everything to 120 if it's connected to 120.
That's why I always get worried because of they're like, oh yeah, I tried it with Street Fighter, and I'm like, okay, the PlayStation 5 version, and then did you make sure it kicked into the 120?
Right.
Because that's the only fighting game personally that will kick it in. And unless unless you're playing Gran Turismo, you're not going to know.
Well, Gran Turismo, to be fair, also has a setting that you weren't even aware of.
Yeah,
so
I know. I didn't even know that.
It's software specific on the PlayStation 5. It's not software specific on the Xbox Series. And unless you own the Xbox Series, you would never know that.
Correct.
Because a lot of people even on Twitter, they just keep saying console. They think that the Xbox is the same as the PlayStation, but it's really not. The system actually does more than the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that's why I don't think he could thoroughly test it because he tested it with he sit at home on a PS5 or something, and then that's not like, well, did you check your monitor to see that it actually read that signal? That's like the experience to knowing that, because from what I know, a lot of the splitters, they say that they can split a signal, but it's very specific, and it's like you can split a signal, but you can't split a 120 signal. It's pretty difficult. That's doing
it offline is a lot harder than just doing it online. So I get it. They have a lot of stuff to take into account. A lot of different monitors, a lot of different commentator headsets and audio, and it's hard. It's definitely hard. I'm just glad that we had bought that splitter on January 15th, and we brought it, and we just kind of lucked out that we had it.
Kelly told me, let's just buy it just in case for Frosty, because I don't need to split my signal to 5 different TVs at my house. There's no reason to.
Yeah.
It's but we always wanted to be ready for locals. That's why we're piling things up, I guess. just to be, okay, you need me to do this? Okay, sure. So yeah, better to be prepared, and glad it worked out that way where I did pack it, and you guys got to play,
the real
deal. Yeah. Can't have 2 years in a row, right? That would be messed up.
And they were very apologetic, and they were embarrassed from last year that they didn't have the capability to do it last year. So he went out and bought the equipment this year, and I can't blame him. Unless you have an Xbox, you really just are assuming that the PlayStation 5 says it's a next-gen console, and the Xbox Series X says it's a next-gen console. You think that they're comparable, so I get it. But
you have to go through the motions. Like I do that at our house. I think it's just definitely a Hollywood thing.
And honestly, Noodles didn't even know that the PlayStation 5 didn't do 120 hertz from the system. So it's something that
now he does. Yeah,
he does now. Yeah, but the thing is that I can understand the mistake. So people just assume
new technology
that
not everybody's ready.
That it does it, and it's hard. And I'm just glad that they were able to wait for us and let us help with that, because that made me happy that we actually did get it up and running at 120.
Yeah. And that was freelancing it too. He just like straight plugged it in. The sound wasn't there for I guess the first 3 or 4 matches.
I think it was the top 4. I mean, 4 out of the top 8.
Yeah, but just for them to at least get the sound to you guys along with the picture and being on screen, that's pretty
What
good
matters.
for on the fly. Yeah, and that's what mattered, because that would have gave me a heart attack if I was the streamer. I would have been ready anyways, but still.
And I was so excited that Zal got to commentate with Rome.
Yeah, that one was a surprise.
It was a surprise, yeah.
That was dope.
Kind of have Aru to thank for that, so thank you, Aru.
Yeah.
Thanks, Aru. Oh, you a Mardello.
Yeah, he asked me if I didn't mind doing it. I said, yeah, sure. All right.
I know Aru, he mentioned he was trying to exit Samsho commentary for a while, just because he said he's not gonna play that actively. But
yeah,
they just don't get enough applicants for Samurai Shodown in commentary, and he's been doing it, and it's tough when you don't have somebody to kind of replace you and kind of feel like you're forced into it, and you don't want to be. That's not you don't want to have that. So,
and I do enjoy.
I'm grateful to Aru for actually doing it all these times, and I had hoped it would help him maybe want to play the game again, but he's got King of Fighters 15, and he's really into that, and the other ones.
Well, and 13 now.
Yeah.
So he's I mean, he's the one who hosted it for at Frosty, right? For 13, I believe.
Yes.
So yeah, I know that's his focus. I was gonna tell myself I was gonna start playing it again too, but Undernight came out and I'm stuck on that for newer games and Tekken. So, but but yeah, doesn't mean I'm gonna stop playing Samsho myself. I love Samsho.
Right.
Like I said, it's more like make room for those games if I can, drop other ones and keep Samsho in there. That's the way I think. So, yeah.
I consider that this Frosty was really only my second time competing in real life. So I was definitely more nervous this year than I was last year. I think because I kind of put more of my time into... Well, we had sorrow and we had a lot more help last year, I feel like, with making sure everything was right, and I felt that it was kind of my job to do it this year a lot, and I was really focused on that, so I wasn't really as focused on competing, and then I kind of crammed it in. But my patience is definitely one thing, and my execution is another, so I don't blame, anybody else but myself.
Yeah, it would have kind of been nice to have more help from Frosty itself, because...
And that's a touchy thing, because, to be honest, the way that I see all these majors and all these FGC events, nobody is familiar with the Xbox, and even the Xbox people, some of them that actually do run things on the Xbox aren't even that familiar with the Xbox. And I feel like it's great to have help, and you can have help, but unless they're doing things the proper way, it's really not helping, because you're just going to have to go and do it over again. So it's kind of like there's a lot of stuff that people just don't realize that the Xbox can do, and a lot of people just assume that it doesn't do what it does, and that's kind of the issue, is that there's a lot of things that you have to change and make sure that the Xbox is doing before, it's really legit doing it. And I really wanted to make sure that I had all of them set up properly, because that bothers me when people complain about something and then it's like, well, did you do this? No, I didn't know that was there. Well, that's because you're not familiar with the Xbox. So that's kind of why, like, I even had to help with like some other Xbox games, and I just feel like it's just in general, there's just people aren't
Everything's
familiar with the Xbox.
familiarity.
So everybody knows the PlayStation 4 because they've been using it for 10 years in tournaments. That's why everybody wants to use it all the time. But at some point, I guess they're gonna have to learn it. But I just wanted to be sure that everything was set up the right way.
Well, that's the thing too, is the PS5 is also something to learn now, and this is.
Yeah.
I seen that in the undernight bracket. Like people they're like, oh, I don't have a 5, so. I was kind of like, oh yeah, do this.
Oh yeah, people didn't know how to get the 2 players working on JoJo's on the PlayStation either.
Yeah,
and that's actually PlayStation. So
yeah, that's actually due to the. Unfortunately, it's due to the programming of
the game,
the actual thing, because the game, the way they made it, where you select the characters is kind of done the same way that Samsho does, which I don't like it how it does it, but like that's just how they did it. So.
Yeah, King of Fighters does it differently, and had the Xbox had they done that same routine on Samsho, it wouldn't have 2 players controlling one. 2 controllers controlling one player, but. Yeah.
But once you know how to do it, it's fine.
There's a reason for it too. There is a reason for it, but I get it. It's hard when you're at an offline, I guess. But it's hard for just people in general to learn a new user interface type thing. So
it's like Mac and Windows.
Yeah.
Mac user will not use a Mac. Windows user uses Windows. So. I don't know. Maybe the staff needs to say they can deal with it.
I mean, I'm fine with dealing with it. I just wish they'd be like
they knew how to do
more
it,
open about it, instead of showing up and being told, "Hey, we just don't have converters," and it's like it kind of begs the question: what would you do if something happened to my flight? Right? Like
correct.
Well, last year they said that they had extra converters, so I'm pretty sure that if we didn't have converters, they would have figured it out. I think they would have asked Gaming Generations, or they would have asked the companies that sold the Brook converters. They would have gotten it regardless.
Well, I mean, on the fly, we were the ones that were there. It was like a copy paste of last year, but like if Scrub didn't make it, if we didn't make it, and then who out of the competitors that signed up, it's up to them to be like, hey, where are the converters? And then it'll cause a whole commotion. Nobody, that's going to put a bad taste.
I also think that that's one of the things that these events are going to have to start having, is they're going to have to hire a person that's familiar with Xbox to go around and handle the Xbox things, and they're gonna probably have to hire somebody that's familiar with the PlayStation 5, because the PlayStation 5 also has a lot of issues that are happening at these offlines that
new things, because it's new consoles.
So I think there just has to be some kind of a consultant there on staff for working through these things until people become more familiar with it.
Yeah. I guess it is what it is. But we made it work just fine. And I think other than that really obscure issue with the one guy with the DualShock, which we figured out, I think it went pretty much fine. Right? It's just...
Yeah, that was a wire.
Yeah.
It was a wire.
Yeah.
And then
I know what you're
there's
talking
one
about.
thing. There's one thing that I actually don't understand, and it's because I don't use a snack box. But apparently, you have to do something certain with the buttons when you plug it in to get it to work on systems, like even the PlayStation. So I don't know how we eventually got it to work, but I showed him Maki's little drawing that he put up, and eventually it worked. But if I don't own a snack box, I'm not going to try to know how it works with all the other systems. Like,
Correct.
if you own a snack box, you should kind of look into that before you play your games, because if you're having, PlayStation 4, you got PlayStation 5, you got PC, you got Xbox. I mean, you kind of got to be familiar with your controller that you're using and know that there's certain things you have to do to connect it.
I think the case with that was when you turn it on, you got to hold like 2 buttons to set it into PC mode. So like it boots up based on like when you first plug it in, like you got to hold those buttons and say it's in PC mode or PS4, PS3, something like that. And it's very particular with the snack box. And I think that's the thing. Just make sure it boots into PC mode.
Yeah, and I think I had the expectation that players that paid money to compete in a tournament would possibly go over and, try it out before the actual tournament day and, practice a little bit. But I guess people don't do that all the time. So,
Well,
it happened.
I think DNF made that tough. DNF because it was the day before.
Yeah.
So the same table, they took all the Xboxes. So unless they knew that we were in the other room playing casuals, they just have no other way to test it.
So Frosty, I definitely believe that they should have had every single main game, tournament game, be in that one free play room with like the Mortal Kombat, the Street Fighter 6, the Under Night, all those games in that room that were free play. They should have had DNF Duel in there, and they should have had Samurai Shodown in there, and I don't see any reason why they shouldn't have had those games in there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the first room on the right. Those are the main games. They said that that was the main game area. Casuals. Main game casuals. But yeah.
I don't know why it's like that. Like, it's not in the room, but it's a main game.
Yeah.
I don't understand it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily that some games they like get more emphasis, right? It's like that's kind of what it's gonna be.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with giving a game emphasis when developers are backing it and putting money into it, but I think that you don't need to have an entire room set up specifically only for Street Fighter 6 and only for 3 games I think they had, or 4.
Yeah.
I think they could have had at least one table set up for Samsho and one table for DNF. They just kind of stuck us all the way in the back, and I feel like there was enough room to just add an Xbox table so that players could, the whole point is I wanted people to see the game that played their other games, at least see it. They don't have to play it, but I just wanted them to walk by
Exposure,
it. Exposure,
yeah.
game. Exposure is big.
Yeah.
And that's, our game, Samurai Shodown, doesn't get the exposure that I was hoping it would get because, it would help if it were aired on like maybe the Funky P channel or Tampa Never Sleeps, but we were put on Vampire Arcadia. I don't know how many people watch that channel, but I think like if they had done it after King of Fighters 15, then it would help get it more exposure. I don't know, I guess I'm just thinking about it in terms of exposure for a smaller game.
Well, I do agree. They should
help
have gave
it
us at
grow.
least one table because there was like 6 tables for Undernight. That's a
Yeah.
lot of tables. I mean, I like it. Yeah, but hey, for a main game, hey, just give us one table. You know, it's like everybody's got like a lot, and then they have them all the tournament ones that are sitting in the main room too.
Yeah,
So
for them to
it's like-
take
it's-
all of
it's
them
a lot.
away on Friday, that they didn't do that last year. That's the one thing I didn't like.
Yeah. Hey, if anybody did want to do casuals, basically that didn't know us, they couldn't.
And I definitely think
there's no
that was
setup.
their. I definitely think that was their solution to the power problems.
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
I guess it is what it is. I mean, that's part of the reason I hope there'll be a new venue, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, I'm not complaining about it at all. Like, I hope this doesn't come across as me complaining. I really love Samurai Shodown, and I feel like if more people were exposed to it, it would get a little bit more. Samurai Shodown, really what it needs is new players. We're not going to get the old players that used to play back again. It's just not going to happen. Our biggest chance is to expose it to people that bought Street Fighter 6 and maybe Tekken 8, and I feel like that's only going to happen if they put Samurai Shodown somewhere in the vicinity of those games so that the players can see it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, like, I'm just saying, like, that was one of the things that I was really hoping for. But you know, I can't get what, you know, that's just
I do know that when most people do walk by Samsho, they always go, wow, what game is that?
yeah.
Because there's something about a game that, like, everybody's, you know, like the announcement of your fight, like, it's all like, it's the most, like, I don't know, like, such a culturally, like, Japanese game, you know, like the way they announce you fighting, and then when you win, it's very unique, and you can tell what's going on. Because, you know, it's not big flashy combos. Anybody usually walks by, they go, oh, what's that game? And then even just streaming it, it's so weird to know that this day people go, what's this game? It's so weird, because to us, we know we've seen it, but to a lot of people, you know, we don't make the whole world, but then they go, oh, whoa, what is this?
Yeah.
You know? And they're like, I've
Yeah,
never
actually,
seen this game.
Yeah, so exposure is a big thing for Samsho, and recently Zal's been getting people in his streams that have been saying, oh my goodness, you just made me buy this game. And that's a good thing to hear. And, you know,
Yeah.
somehow they were
Yeah.
exposed to it, and I'm grateful they were, but they're new players. There's a lot of new players that have never played the game before. So I think that's a good thing, but I definitely was hoping for a little bit more exposure at Frosty. Yes.
Yeah. I did meet a new guy, though. He did come in. You remember?
Yep.
Playing with him for a while. A couple of people. He's like, oh, okay. I'll pay attention.
Yeah, I'm found out my one of the guys still plays Samsho at my local, so I'm gonna try to bring the Xbox up there
Oh,
cool.
and try to get that going again. Like when Nick Cool left, when he went to Wisconsin, it kind of died down for a little bit, you know, just trying to get it going. But then it's like Ragnar was there, and Ragnar was there at Frosty, and he was like one of the last people to you know, like, let us borrow one of his converters. Yeah.
oh,
so
it was
that-
Ragnar?
Yeah, that was him.
Oh, okay. He was my opponent at Frosty last year, so I know who that is.
Yeah, so he was like, he still loves the game. He still brings his PS4 to us. So I was like, okay, all right, cool. So it's not a total loss when going to locals now.
Right.
So,
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm
Well,
like,
if you have 2 people, that's enough to start. So
yeah, that's enough.
Yep. They can see you guys exposing the gameplay and looking how it looks.
yeah. So your local, what's your local called?
Local is FGC meetups. at Ignite Gaming. It's in Skokie, Illinois.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like it's kind of like I would say Mr. Cyabot, you remember Lunabout, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, sort of like that, but bigger.
Oh, I see. Like a land center, kind of.
Yeah, it's like in the front there's food, but you can play video games up there. But in the back, there's still food. There's food can still be served. Alcohol can still be served. But like we have a lot more space in the back just for the FGC.
Okay, so I looked it up, and it says it's a vibrant gathering for fighting game enthusiasts.
Right.
Sounds good.
Yeah. At first they did it almost every Friday, then every two weeks. Now it looks like a monthly thing, but
yeah.
But hopefully we could get at least 2 a month. I'm good, but I haven't really been going lately because jobs and other things and life. But
yeah,
you know what? I want to get back into it because, like, it's a safe haven.
Yeah.
You gotta feel good in your safe haven.
Yeah, we were talking about that this morning too. Like we wanted to probably we're just looking at places here on the West Coast that we could possibly start something ourselves. Yeah, I know we have some spots, but ideally, I think we want to make it even more public. Some places are more like, I guess you could say it's like a nightclub feel, and that's not what, not everybody is over 21, technically. Yeah.
That is correct.
So you got to make it something that everybody can play. Anywho, and we have like round one here has like a fighting game section. We're just thinking about that. I got to present some kind of proposal, to them. I'll figure it out. B-Boy has a pretty good thing going on with his with Buffalo Wild Wings. Yeah. With his Buffalo Wild Wings.
Actually, so they're doing Samsho this weekend, and we found out that one of the groomsmen at our wedding is going to be in town this weekend. So, and we haven't seen him for a while, so we're kind of excited to see him. And it just happens to be that it's the same day as that. What is it called? Astral Beatdown.
Yeah, or that area. Yeah.
And Astral Beatdown, honestly, it would have been like a 5 to 6 hour drive for us. So it's kind of far, actually. I was thinking it was going to be Central California, but it's actually northern.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's up there.
That's far.
Yeah. If it were not this weekend, so close to Frosty, and the same weekend that our friend was coming into town, I definitely wanted to go, but it's quite a trip.
Yeah. I really want to support, or at least try to support the game and my scene too, but there's some obstacles. Like, there's people who were interested, but a whole bunch of new games came out, and
they make space for that. Right?
Yeah, well,
I know.
I mean, there is space, but now they want to play those new games like Street Fighter and Tekken. Like, actually, after I came home from Combo Breaker, we ran a Samsho bracket of about 10 people.
Oh,
but that was like literally the week before SF6, and then they wanted to focus on SF6 for they wanted to focus on SF6 for Evo, and now Tekken's out. They want to play that, and it's like the other big thing is that even if I only play 2 people, I'd be down to go to locals, but the problem is that our locals on Wednesday night, the same night as like the Xbox Samsho, and like I'm gonna be honest, I really can't afford to miss the Wednesday lobbies. That's like the best practice I get every single week. It's like really hard to justify. So I want to try something. It might be really hard, and it might be a more gradual thing. But I'll try whatever I can. I might do like Edmonton only net play lobbies or something of the sort, but unfortunately the game is almost 5 years old, and I think kind of the iron is not super hot, right? It's kind of just what it is, right? In a smaller city like the one I live in. But I'll try.
Yeah,
It came out in 2021. If you play on the Xbox One, you can claim that it came out March 2021. 3 years.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, it's something. It's something. The game's been out for 5 years, but this version's been out for 3 years. So basically, it's still kind of new, really.
This is a next gen one, you know?
Yeah, it's next gen. It's a next gen fighter. Hey, look, it's the only fighting game that you can play on 120 hertz.
Yep. True, 120 hertz, so 120 frames.
Yo,
Yeah.
it's instant. It's instant. So, who wants to play instant? You know.
Yep. Ideally, to tell you the truth, that's kind of what I want the FGC to do. I want all the new games. I mean, what's the reason of coming out with the new consoles if they're not going to utilize that in the game? You know what I mean? Like in reality, okay.
It's
Yes.
like, yeah, like you like new consoles. Oh, the picture is better. Oh, like the moves are better. Oh, they're showing it better. But how does it feel? The same.
Yeah.
It's like I press a button, it takes about like 2 or 3 seconds. You want something now. You want something now.
Yeah. It's really about that. And then that's also, I guess, the intake of you know what I was explaining, the 120 hertz timer. You know, like games are like when you rotate your controller, like what it's really picking up. Like for them to know how to do that with everything, you know, because it's like the difference between a drop move and a non-drop move. Most of the time, all games are still made on the 60, but like it is the time to finally go up, because why did they come out with new consoles anyways, right? Like give people the incentive to upgrade, but you know, it's kind of like you know, the tournaments. Well, let's just say this, like Under Night, we're playing the PS4 version because there's pretty much absolutely no difference.
Well, there is actually. The PlayStation 5 version has more input delay than the PlayStation 4 version.
At the sacrifice of, I guess, graphics.
Wait, PS5 has more delay than PS4?
For every single fighting game, yes.
Almost
So-
everything.
That is why all of the fighting games at the offline tournaments are all playing the PlayStation 4 versions on a PlayStation 5.
So
And
Yes.
with the exception of Mortal Kombat, because that is not on the
It's
PlayStation
only
4.
It's only on the.
Wow.
They didn't come out with a 4 version.
Same thing with Tekken.
Street Fighter 6 is both, but
Tekken 8. Tekken 8
yeah,
is,
same with Tekken.
but
8.
it's at 60. But that's the thing, is like I said, like it's graphics is graphics. To use new programming language, I think is, or whatever we call it, the input timer, I think is the more revolutionary thing, such as like we've seen that with Samsho in the series. You know, people just think you're crazy when you're like, oh no, it works okay. And it's like, so like this Friday, you know, I mean, you can never fix Wi-Fi. You can never fix people with bad internet, even with roll back and
double
get
nats,
Yeah.
Right.
unfortunately, which was what happened to Royal Psycho yesterday.
Oh yeah.
He wasn't able to play Dio Rod because of the connection. Wouldn't connect, right?
Yeah.
No, it would not connect. Like I see him and then it backs out. See him, then backs out. It's like, and then I tried joining his room, it wouldn't let me. So it's challenging.
Forfeit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's challenging. I don't really like winning like that, but okay. But still, I really want to face the person, but this, it is like that.
Even talking about that, I gotta talk to him and try and help him set that up. But like, that's the thing is, he leaves it in the living room, so his kid and his wife uses it. So I could help people with that. We'll see. I'll try so that he can actually join us also on the series. I mean, like this Friday, after we did the casual lobby, I played with Japan at like 4 a.m, and I just couldn't sleep. So, and I woke up and then I seen Katian's lobby, and I just joined them. And I played with like 5 different people there. Connection's good.
Masa 54 has a very good knockoff. I'm jealous.
Yeah, he does.
Yes. I still need to get games with that guy and his knockout. Ooh, I need to figure.
If you could wake up early, I mean, it's kind of their time schedule, and they don't mind. I mean, you did their tournaments also too.
Yeah, I did like one tournament. I think if they do it again, I'm gonna try to join because I gotta get reps in.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that about covers it for this episode. Unless anyone has any objections.
I object. No, I'm just
Okay, all right, Kelly. So,
Well, okay. So yeah, we talked about the converter situation. Overall, yeah, I loved Frosty, so it was fun. I already miss. I miss hanging out with you guys. It was a good time.
Yeah.
I like Frosties, but I felt like there was too many people missing this year that made me a little bit sad. Also, so like Sorrow and Sugar Bear and Tao and
those guys.
there was a lot of people, and there's a lot more that I didn't even say. Like Musketeer was there. There's a lot more people there last year in general. Like that ballroom was packed last year, and that is why definitely it was so hot that day. So I was a little bit sad because of some of the people weren't there, and then sad because of some of the DQs, like Dust On and Funktastic, and I mentioned them earlier. But basically, that's the thing that really made me sad. But it was nice to be able to see at least a lot of faces. But I want more. I want more faces. I want to meet more people.
Yep.
It was cool to get to meet Cool Ranch.
Oh yeah, that dude. You cool.
He's a Galford.
Yeah. Yes, a Galford main, but he also plays Harmon. But like, cool, I got somebody to mold.
And Zerker was there from the other Discord, and I didn't even know he was there, but apparently I got him on video anyway. So, don't be shy at these things. Speak up. We want to meet you all.
Yeah, I'm not scary. Like I may be shy on a little bit, but like I will, speak. We will speak. I'll speak. I know I didn't really do much this Frosty than I did in the past. I just showed up for 2 days, and on that Sunday, I actually wanted to go. I was dead.
You were just exhausted, right?
You
hibernated.
Yeah, I was just dead. on Sunday. It was like, okay, yep, I'm dead.
Well, Psycho, I did get to play with you a couple matches, not a lot. I think we only played like 5, but you're tough.
Yeah.
I don't get a lot of Galford matchups, and I do remember when I used to get Galford matchups when I first started playing. I thought Galford was like impossible. Like, I just don't know how he seems to have everything in the game. I don't think he's missing anything.
The Dragon Punch.
And
he does have Dragon Punch on.
Okay, so he doesn't have a Dragon Punch, but like that dog, and then you've got projectile, and then you've got like a command grab, and you have all this stuff, and then he goes far, and I just see him and I get jealous.
Hey,
that Nako has this little butter knife, and
she's dangerous though too.
He has a hawk instead of a dog. I think the dog might win in a dog hawk fight.
No, the hawk. The hawk will win. Don't downplay it. The hawk will win. Poppy has to get to the hawk, and it's going to be very, very difficult. You know, like it's just been a lot of commitment and playing with Galford. I even was thinking maybe in season 2 it's like what am I doing, but season 3, it picked up. So I'm still finding out more things with my character. So
But Galford was season 1, right?
Yes, Galford season 1. Actually,
okay.
he was like one of the best characters in one of the first unfair character, actually, because he gets hit, you hit him, he'll teleport either from front or behind, usually from behind. But now they nerfed that, so I'm like, okay, cool.
I want to have a tournament where it's season 1 characters only.
I'd be down there. You can catch this Tam.
Nako's choosable, Galford's choosable, Juve. We got all the important ones.
Yeah, so. Your Tam was sick.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. But
you was beating up people with that Tam though. Got third, gave people problems with that Tam. Yeah.
All right, well, anyway, thank you guys so much for joining and supporting as always.
Thanks for having us.
Sure thing.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for all for help, everybody. Thank you for joining us today on another excellent episode. I do have a few promos. So, there is a Samsho local tournament coming up in San Jose on February 10th. So, next Saturday. It's called Astro Beatdown. So, feel free to give that a look and meet up with all our friends in NorCal and have some fun. And then in Atlanta, at March 22nd and 24th, Samsho is a main game at the inaugural Max Mode tournament hosted by Data FGC and our good friends Paydenbot and Big Bates. So, please give that a look.
2 to that?
Yeah, they should all be there. I heard Janosuke's going.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then finally, let's see. Samsho is an official game at Combo Breaker 2024. Easily, probably the biggest tournament of the game this year. Kind of the grand finale of sorts. So, it'd be really cool to see you all there. Sign-ups are still open for that. Yeah, Memorial Day weekend, so big holiday weekend. And then finally, my sponsor Kanme Studios is offering a line of Samurai Shodown specific keychains. So those are up for sale on the Ko-Fi link that will be in the description. There's We got 2 rounds of characters of about 10 each, so 20 total characters. So if you're into Samsho memorabilia, feel free to check that out. So yeah, thanks again. Thanks for supporting the game as always.
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
So there's also a tournament WeMad if you're in Montreal, February 24th to the 25th. That's going to have Samurai Shodown, and Winter Showdown in Colorado, March 8th to the 10th. We'll have Samurai Shodown, and Canada East Championships in Toronto is March 16th. And Defend the North and CEO will also have Samurai Shodown. Defend the North is actually, I think, the previous Evo dates, beginning of August 2nd to the 4th. And CEO, I don't know when CEO is, I forgot. I think it's June.
Yeah, it's in June.
Okay, so June 28th to the 30th. And I just saw that somebody is having something, one of the community tournaments at CEO is going to be on the Series X or Series S. I forgot the name of the tournament, but Psycho Blue, I think, is running it. But anyway, so those are some major tournaments coming up, as well as Combo Breaker and locals.
All right. So yeah, I guess that's the end of our show, and hasta luego, au revoir, Nerf Cham Cham, and have a good night. Thank you, everybody.
All right, deuces.
Peace.